Buddha, Shri Heruka, and how the Buddha picked up, chose the sacred names, how they picked up the names, not for one's own glory, but to leave an impact, to leave the maximum impact in the mind of the sentient beings. So if you see this, then you will see the kindness, enormity of the kindness of the Buddhas. Okay, Shri Heruka. So it has how many parts there? Shri He Ru Ka. There are the 4 sections there, four syllables there. Of the 4 syllables, let us see to the meaning of these 4. Okay, say the first Shri, you put it last. He Ru Ka Shri. We'll explain like this. And let's say first we need to know this. Let's say, okay, just quickly, somebody tell me, right? Somebody tell me, in your life you have a very sad moment. Just give me any instance of a sad moment. Very quick, anybody?
Loneliness.
Huh?
Loneliness.
Loneliness, acute feeling of loneliness. Can you give me an instant, not just, generally speaking? Huh?
Feeling not being understood.
Feeling not being understood at one point, right?
At one point.
Not always.
No, certain example.
Give me a very precise example. Your life experience.
Losing a dear friend or family member.
Losing my mother.
Say losing one's mother, the pain is so acute, right? Okay, so any experience that you might have, the pains. So this pain is related, just see whether it's true or not. That I feel the pain of losing my mother. You getting it? Who feel the pain? I. Over what? Over losing my mother. So mother is object, phenomena with which you interact, and this I is the agent who experiences the pain. You getting it? So there's always the interaction between the object, the interaction between the agent and the object. So this agent, we call it they say the person, I the person, and then this person interacts with the phenomena other than this self. You're getting it? So all problems that we go through should necessarily happen through the combination of the self with the phenomena. You're getting it? Only when this self interacts with the phenomena, then the problems can potentially arise. So like a sound of clap, we should necessarily come into being by the combination of 2 hands. Likewise, all problems arise by the combination of the self and the phenomena. And when the self interacts with the phenomena in a nice way, good things happen. When the self and the phenomena interact in a wrong way, miseries happen. So misperception of the phenomena, misperception of the self, the person, misperception of the self or the person, which is known as seeing the self as objectively real, seeing the person as objectively real. And the misperception of the phenomena with which you interact, seeing the phenomena as objectively real. So there, as long as these 2 misperceptions are happening, then what will come out as a result is only going to be contaminated and miseries. Now if you do want to get rid of these 2 things, then of the 2 hands, seeing the person as objectively real, seeing the phenomena as objectively real, of these 2 things, you have to correct the misperceptions. How to correct the misperceptions? Instead of seeing the self as objectively real, you have to see the emptiness of the objective reality of the person. So that's known as the selflessness of the person. And then the phenomena with which you interact. The phenomena, instead of seeing the phenomena as objectively real, you see the emptiness of the objective existence of the phenomena. So that's known as the selflessness of the phenomena. So we see that for us to rectify the 2 misperceptions, which are responsible for all the problems, what we need to do is we have to see the selflessness of person and selflessness of phenomena. So it's for this reason that Acharya Chandrakirti, when he was explaining about emptiness, he explains emptiness in the form of selflessness of person and selflessness of phenomena. Okay, now the thing is that He Ru Ka Shri. You getting it? Okay, so what do you see? What do you see? What am I doing? My two fists, two hands up, right? Okay, the first say my right hand symbolizing the person, my left hand symbolizing the phenomena with the person meaning you, and the left hand symbolizing the phenomena with which you interact. Okay, let's see. Hey, this phenomena. Hey, the surface of phenomena. We see the phenomena is so real, you dissolve this phenomena. Right? First, what do you see? How many things are there? Two. That is duality. Two means dual. Duality is there. You getting it? The duality is there. The objectively existent self, person, objectively existent phenomena. Duality is there. Now let's see how the duality dissolves. So first, the phenomena with which I interact, this phenomena, it does not exist objectively. It dissolves. Selfless phenomena dissolves. What is left now? Only the person is left. Now, not only this phenomena, even the person is also empty of objective existence. You dissolve this, you experience the selfless person. Okay, now what is left? What is left now? Nothing's left. The two dissolves. The two, or initially there were two, the two dissolve. This two dissolve means the duality dissolve. Dissolving duality is non-duality. Now the non-duality is experienced. We're getting it? Non-duality is experienced. Okay, who experienced the non-duality? My mind. My mind, the wisdom. My wisdom of emptiness, that experiences the non-duality. You getting it? Okay, now let's see. He ru ka shri. Okay, first he. He, surface of phenomena. Ru, hey. Ru, surface of a person, right? Now what is left? Non-duality is left. This non-duality is the ka. Right? Non-duality is the ka. And who experiences this? My wisdom of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of emptiness experiences. This is the Shri. Right? Shri. The totality is the Evam. Evam means thus. Evam. You getting it? Okay. So the point is, okay, now if you understood this, we're going to read it. And then every time in future, if you understood this, it would be so good if you can recite this on a daily basis. And whenever you get some time, free time, taking a walk, or say like on the train, aeroplane, bus, car, you can recite this. Once you know the meaning, the benefit is going to be a million times more, no doubt. In Tibetan, it's very poetic in Tibetan. So you can, what I would suggest is those of us who are fluent in English meaning, you say in English, you say in Hebrew, there's not much difference. If this is what comes to you, you say this in the whichever way, whichever is better. Whereas if you say this in Hebrew, it is more real experience. Then try to say this in Hebrew. Whereas for you, if there's not much difference, then you choose. Whereas for me, saying this in English, saying this in Tibetan. In Tibetan, Tibetan is my native language. English, I don't know whether say. It is like I'm imitating somebody. I don't feel like myself speaking when I speak English, because this is not my native language. Tibetan is my native language. When I speak, I feel that I'm speaking. So therefore, I prefer to say this in Tibetan. In Tibetan, it is Shiri Heruga, Shiri Heruga, Shiri Heruga. He ni kunga junsu, he ni kunga junsu yuga semte yu tangi do dawa shuk, tomba shuki damyo ga tang. Ru ni kansa ga dado zima, namdo ga chawe ga dada de ga kansa ga damyo ga tang. Ga ni te kona ni yu je ni mi tumi susu ni sumi ne ga tang. Shiri ni yu tongpa ni shi dawa dasho ni jisu shubi ni sumi ne i shi ni yabong ga tuno. This is a Tibetan version. Right? Huh?
This was too quick to understand.
Yeah, it's very quick. So this is Tibetan version, and then if you want this to be in Hebrew, somebody must translate very precisely. Accuracy should not be compromised. You can make it poetic, even if there's even if the poetic part is missing, but the accuracy is there. This is fine. But if you compromise with the accuracy and it becomes very poetic, the whole purpose is defeated. And the best would be, it should be very accurate, plus poetic, then it's beautiful translation, very beautiful. So the point is that if this can be translated so well, very precisely, succinctly, with sharpness in the meaning and the poetic, then the best is for you to read this, say this in Hebrew, right? Otherwise, you can say this in English. So the English I translated myself, and I tried to do the best, and I revised this translation so many times, right? Always trying to see this over and over again. Okay, so with this, let's say this 3 times, not 3 times, 1 time, but Shri Heruka, the Buddha's name, Shri Heruka. Let's say this 3 times with 4 hands. Shri Heruka, Shri Heruka, Shri Heruka. He is the selfless phenomena. The mind that is the source of everything is empty of true existence, as it is imputed to be of causal nature. Ru is the selflessness of person, the emptiness of the self that is fabricated by the web of conceptual thought that grasps the self of person. Ka is the ultimate reality, the absence of the dissonant duality of subject and object. Shri is the non-dual exalted wisdom that abides in congruence with the emptiness of the object. This is the meaning of Eva. Okay, so no doubt we have left a very strong imprint of the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, now going back to the study that we left yesterday. We are on page the chapter 24, stanza. Which stanza we read? Huh? Stanza 8. Finish 8? Yes. Okay. Now what we're going to do is not going to be as complicated. It's not going to be as complicated. It's going to be pretty easy. But make sure that this is very important. Don't ruminate over the past things which we have learned earlier. Don't anticipate for what you would like to correlate with the other things. Be in the present moment. Follow what the instructions being given on the spot. That is very important. If you ruminate over the past or anticipate the future, you will miss the things currently being shared with you, and in which case you cannot actually correlate things. This is very unwise. Okay. This is very important. Let's see. First, again, I'd like to give a quick review of what we did yesterday, and then this dialogue that is happening here, we see it's a dialogue, and oftentimes people say that this intellectual dialogue is nothing to do with me. That's not true. In fact, say for somebody who is very short-tempered and suffering so much, that person, only by adopting compassion, this short-temperedness will go away. And bringing compassion, this is a very alien thinking in this person's mind. Alien thinking will contradict with the long-term thinking, which is the self-centeredness, the short-temperedness. So these two conflict. Only with the conflict you can expect to win over the negative thinking. Likewise, self-grasping ignorance is how we have been so addicted in thinking. This is the addicted version of our thinking, self-grasping ignorance. And now it should have a conflict with the wisdom of emptiness. So the dialogue is happening. Dialogue in the form of actually debating between these two things in the mind stream. Actually combat. Conflict is happening. Only when the wisdom of emptiness becomes stronger, then we can think of fully combating the self-grasping ignorance. So this dialogue, what is happening here, is not an external dialogue. It's not an external dialogue between the Prasangika and the lower schools. It should be seen as a dialogue within yourself, a dialogue between the self-grasping ignorance, which we are so addicted to from the beginner's time till now, and the new friend which we are bringing now, the wisdom of emptiness. A dialogue, conflict, and a combat happening between these two things. If you see like this, then what we are reading this is going to be very, very effective, particularly the positions of the lower schools. Lower schools, you don't just rule them out. You don't just sideline them saying that this is just the very shallow understanding. No, the lower school's presentations reflect our habitual thinking, right? So that habitual thinking must be revolutionized. For that matter, we have to see this dialogue and see the dialogue in your own mind stream. And then you see that the transformation will take place. Okay, for that matter, first we have to know the position of Prasangikas and position of the lower schools. Prasangikas, what's the position? Nothing exists objectively. And the lower schools, everything exists objectively. So the lower schools, they say they projected many contradictions in Prasangika, and Aranigarjuna in stanza 8, he summarized everything by saying that the contradiction that you see, the contradiction that you have voiced against us, the contradiction that you've indicated against us, is not because we have the contradiction, it's all because of your failure to appreciate three things. What are the three things they fail to appreciate? Hey, what are the three things?
What is?
The first one is what are the characteristics of the emptiness, number one. Number two, the purpose of meditation, emptiness. Number three, meaning of emptiness, three, right? Okay, so you fail to address these things so well, because of which you see contradictions in us. And how come, what made them to fail to see these three things properly? What made the lower schools fail to address these three things properly? Because they equated they equated existence and objective existence, right? We have to use this word objective existence instead of true existence, right? If you say true existence, then the complication arises, so Atana Madhavika is a problem. So therefore, the existence and objective existence, they equate. The moment somebody equates these two, all these problems are bound to arise. Okay, they equate these two things, objective existence and existence. Meaning that for them, anything that exists should necessarily exist objectively. Okay, now, without going further, what we need to go is, what's the problem if you equate these two things? This is what we have to learn. If you equate, if you equate objective existence and existence, what's the problem? Okay, say, say the flower, right? Okay, say this object. This object, what is this object? Hey, group A, what is this object? Group B, what is this object? Absence of flower. So from this knowledge, this knowledge is what the advocates of the objective existence did not have. They do not have this information. That the same object behaves as a flower, the same object behaves as the emptiness of the flower, depending on the two different perceptions. They do not know this. Because they do not know this, they think that mind has nothing to do. It's only the object, right? If something exists, it should exist objectively. You getting it? If it exists objectively, then if it exists from the object, which of the two perceptions should be correct? It should exist. If it exists objectively, then it should exist in the eyes of the ultimate analysis, or it should exist in the eyes of the conventional analysis. If it exists objectively. Okay, say conventional meaning that the mind, right? Convention, ultimate. Convention means, what's the convention of Israel? Which lane is correct, right or left? Hey, no idea. Right lane is correct. How come the right lane is correct? Is it the road which decides, or the person's mind which decides? Person's mind, that is known as convention. Convention means it's the mind from the subject. Object means not from the subject. Objective means not from the subject, it's from the object. You're getting it? So, what is the opposite of convention? Hey, what is the opposite of convention? Ultimate. You're getting it? So, convention means coming from the mind. Ultimate means from the object. It's a connotation. That is connotation, right? Don't make a huge conclusion just at the moment. First listen, right? Okay. So convention, it means subject object. The subject, the mind. So convention, it connotes the subject. So the opposite of what convention is should connote the object. You're getting it? So convention analysis means something to do with the mind. Ultimate analysis means something to do with the object. You're getting it? So if the flower does exist objectively, then it should be seen by the ultimate analysis. You're getting it? It should be seen. If it does exist objectively, if it does exist objectively, then it should be seen by the ultimate analysis. I'm not saying that the flower exists objectively, one. Number two, it is seen by objectively. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying if the flower exists objectively, if this flower is chocolate, then I can eat it. Yes, no?
Yes.
But if this is not a flower, then I cannot, if this is not chocolate, I will not eat it. Right? Okay. If this is objectively existent, it should be seen by the ultimate analysis. You're getting it? It should be seen by the ultimate analysis, because ultimate analysis is the one which analyzes what is objectively there. You're getting it? Ultimate analysis is the one which is seeing what ultimately is there, what objectively is there. Okay. Now, in which case, if the flower does exist objectively, then the mind has no role to play for the flower's existence. You agree with me or not? If the flower exists objectively, hey, pay a little attention. If the flower exists objectively, then the mind which is a subject has no role to play pertaining to the existence of the flower. You agree with me or not? If you agree with me, right, the mind will have no say. If the mind has no role to play, then the flower, right? This is the meaning of the flower existing objectively. You getting it? Okay. Now, the same flower seen as beautiful, the same flower seen as not beautiful, right? So this is decided by the mind. Now, beautiful, not beautiful cannot be. It becomes non-existent because the mind has no role to play. If the mind has no role to play, then the flower is beautiful, not beautiful, does not have anything to do. Now, the flower is given rise to by its seed. Yes, no? Seed is the cause and this flower is the result. So this seed is the cause and the flower is the result if it exists objectively. Then the seed and flower, seed is the cause, flower is the effect. These two meet or they don't meet? Huh?
They don't.
Huh?
They don't.
If they don't meet, which means that these two are at different times. The seed is at one time, flower is at different time. If they don't meet, then where's the connection? There's no connection. If there's no connection, even without the seeds, flowers should come. Right? Okay, if they meet, there should be a time when you see that these two are together. If these two are together, then what's the need of the cause? The effect is already there. Cause is for the effect, for to give rise to the effect which was non-existent to come into being. Now the flower is already there, what's the use of the seed if it is together? Together means cause and effect means cause and effect makes sense only if these two are sequential. You're getting it? So meet, there's a problem. Don't meet, there's a problem. Don't meet, then these are not cause and effect. If they meet, again these two are not cause and effect. If it is purely objective, from the object. Whereas if it is subjective, no problem.
Why?
Which why? The first one is
Why the fact that there is a cause and effect and it's not... Okay, I'm okay with it meeting, not meeting.
What's the question?
Why does it make it not objective existing? Why, if there is a cause-effect relation, then it necessarily is not objective existing?
This is what I'm saying. If it does exist objectively, all this cause-effect relation should be explained from the object side. mind should have no role to play.
Yes.
Keeping aside the mind, then from the object you should explain that these two are cause and effect. If the cause and effect, these two are from the object these two meet or do not meet.
They transform.
No, meet or not meet.
No.
Transform means there should be a time when it was a seed.
Yes.
Then there's a time when there's a flower or
Yes.
there's a shoot. So these two time meet or not meet.
No, that's separate.
No, these two time meet or not.
No.
For example, say my two hands meet,
Yes.
right? These two are separate, still separate, but these two meet. You getting it? Likewise, the time of the seed and the time of the shoot, do they meet or not?
Difficult to answer.
Because there's different. Because you believe in objective existence. If you believe in objective existence, you cannot evade this problem.
No, because if you have to say
No, meet or not meet. This is the point.
Me.
Huh? Meet means you should see that these two are meeting.
No, there's something sequential which goes.
No, meet, not meet, this question. No, I'm not allowing you to explain in your own ways, which is, you can. My question is meet, not meet. If not meet, there's a problem. If meet, there's a problem. This problem is because you believe in objective existence. Whereas, if it's coming from the mind, there's no problem.
Why is not a problem? It's in the mind.
No, forget about that part for the first time. Meet, not meet.
Why it's problem? If
why
it's
is
big?
problem?
Okay, just say meet. Just say that these two meet.
Say if they meet, they
No, don't say too much. Just say meet. They meet. If you say these two meet, then we will indicate the problem. What the problem is. If you meet, there must be a mind which sees that these two are meeting. If you see that these two are meeting, these two should be seen together. If these two are together, these two are simultaneous. Cause and effect can never be simultaneous. If they don't meet, what's the connection?
By the sequence.
Cause and
No,
effect.
if they do not meet, there's a gap.
There's no
There's a gap.
no con-
If there's a gap, the cause and effect makes no sense.
No gap.
No gap means meet.
Sequential.
No. Meet, not meet, this is a problem. You getting it? Okay, what we do is that one thing that we have to learn, which is so important, and a habit, very good habit that we'll take, is never ever be impulsive. One, never ever be impulsive, right? Follow rationality is very precious. Number one. And if you sense a rationality, your rational thinking is less grounded as compared to someone else's rational thinking, appreciate others' rational thinking. That habit you will take to your next life. So this will make you to reach into emptiness very quickly. If you don't do that, if you build a habit, okay, although you see that the other one is better, still you don't acknowledge that, you take a very bad habit with you. So this habit will stop you, hamper you from reaching to the very refined understanding of emptiness. You're getting it? This is so precious point that we have to keep in mind. Okay, with this,
If they meet, I should see it. And are we saying or asking if we see it under ultimate analysis?
so now somebody believing in objective existence, there's no ultimate analysis, objective, the conventional analysis, right? So the question is very direct. Do they meet or not meet?
They meet.
If they meet, you should see that these two are meeting.
Yes.
If you see these two are meeting, these two are simultaneous. Cause and effect cannot be simultaneous. If they don't meet, there's a gap. If there's a gap, these two are not cause and effect. Right?
What's the answer?
Okay, so the answer is that objectively, nothing is there. So the cause and effect, these two are there, these two exist by the power of the mind. So the mind is the one which links the two things. There's nothing there from the object which links the two things. It's the mind. Okay, so first you see the flower, first you see the seed. Next time you see the flower. Then the mind says, yes, these two are connected. Your mind connects the two. It's not the object which connects the two. You getting it? So therefore, this is how things exist only by the power of the mind. Only if you accept subjective imputation, then these things can be explained. Without this, purely from objective existence, nothing